universal truth and absolute laws of nature, for guiding me, protecting me, and giving me the strength to endure the imperfect. I shall attack with vigor, making progressive moves. The divine mind knows, the divine mind shows. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. All things work in divine order. Boom. I love the people. Let's go. Let's go. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? What's good with everyone? As everybody comes through, I'm just going to share this out. Uh, I'm just going, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I just had to share it on Twitter. You know, that's what it's about. Oh, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. How we doing? How we doing, people? How we doing? Okay, I see you, Angel, Colleen, Jay, what up, Ninth, what up, what up, what up, Raw, what up, what's good with y'all? What's good with y'all? Ah, victory, peace and power, salute everybody. As you come up in here, yes, please share, do share. Divine truth, Allah, peace, divine. What it do? What it do? Peace, peace. What up, 4-5? Peace. Ah, Christopher Farmer, salute, 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 salute. Hey, V. I see V. Yes, sir. Salute, salute, salute. It's been a long Saturday. Uh-oh. What up, T? Yes, yes, I see you. Yes, come on in, come on in, come on in. Ha, Joel, peace. Good. I know they will do you well. I know they will do you well. Oh, you know the roll call is going to be extensive while they are still coming in. Definitely share the video, hit the like, and like I explained on IG very briefly. Hey, peace, Jay. That we won't have an extensive uh discussion tonight. We actually were planning to have a cash appathon or telethon, however we want to, however people want to describe it on social media, on either outspoken or no filter. So I don't know exactly what time this evening, but we're gonna make an attempt to have a 4 to 6 hour discussion on several issues, and and allow the chat to be engaged as much as possible. There's a lot to cover, and you know, uh, in all due time, we are going to, give it our best. We're going to give it our best. You know. Yes, yes, yes. I see South Jersey. I see East New York. I hope you have your book, boy. I get a lot of, I get a lot, and I mean I get a lot of DMs, inboxes, emails during the week. People are so excited, right, with this beautiful book, um, and I knew people would be excited about it, right? As I always say, this is the foundation of awareness. This is the foundation of consciousness. You know, again, without a strong foundation, you will have problems. I don't care what structure you're building. I don't care if it is an actual skyscraper. Uh, I don't care if it's a relationship. I don't care if it's a toy or computer. Anything that you build, right? If the foundation is weak, if the foundation has holes, you could build the tallest structure. You can build or have length on the longest relationship. You know, you can make the best toy sooner, and I mean sooner, more sooner than later. It's going to crumble. It's going to fall. You know, it's going to wiggle and waver if your foundation isn't tight. And this is the basic foundation of consciousness, of awareness, of militancy. All right? This is where we at. Why? And I always say, because this is a queen. This is a melanated queen. This is a strong comrade. This is a comrade who was an excellent organizer, very well in at articulating her beliefs, solid as far as meeting goals and manifesting who she was, well equipped and knowledgeable in warfare, was injured, captured in the arms of the enemy, never wavered with her stance, was ultimately convicted for whatever action took place, and was liberated and remained at large. So again, this is the foundation. Salute and thank you, Brandon. Thank you for that uh, beautiful gift. Thank you. Again, do know that when you do give these gifts, that 40% or some weird number goes directly to YouTube. So Cash App and Cash App's never, I mean, never ever too small at all, you know, at all, never. So, be mindful of the support. Peace, salute, Ra. Much love, right? So again, um, this is the foundation. And not only was she liberated, she is still liberated. So this is the foundation of any person who is yearning for their awareness, for their purpose, um, for their growth, and to find your tribe, to seek your tribe, to research your tribe. That's why this is such a poignant piece, right? And why we must build on it. We are definitely reading it together. As I said, I've read it numerous times, as I do all of the books that will be assigned to us in the book club. All of them. Trust and believe. Everything, and this is just a small space that I'm in that I choose to use. But when I tell you everything is but an arm's reach away from me, it is. It is that's just how I move. And when I tell you we're going to get into everything, if you just want to peek at some of the other titles, salute. Some of the other titles that we're going to discuss and digest and intake in book club. This is going to be another title that we're going to go over extensively. Can y'all see it? A Dying Colonialism, right? By Frantz Fanon, right? Um, uh, We definitely gonna go over this for you LA people. City of Courts, Mike Davis. It's another excellent title. Um, what else? Oh, definitely we're gonna go over. They came before Columbus. Um, what else we got? What we got over here? We got shoot. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, we got a whole bunch of stuff. We got a whole bunch of stuff. We have Angela Davis, women, race, and class. That's going to be there. Definitely, we have the original, The Prince by Machiavelli. You know, the original. We're going to go over that. Um, Definitely going to go over this book here by Vladimir Lenin, right? Imperialism. Um, salam, sunshine. What else? What else? What else we have in here? Um, Definitely this. If you don't know, you will know. Yeah. Paulo Freire. And all liberators have to intake that. And don't just think that that's going to be it, because it's actually a 4-book series. So we're going to do Gajigi of Hope as well. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that, some kind of uh one trick pony here. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just one book. Oh no. Oh yeah, definitely we're gonna have to go over Che. All right? We have to do that. What else we got, man? We have a bunch of goodies. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. You know? Um, Damn, it's just so many. Another piece by Fannin, right? Black skin, white mask. Um, yeah, it's a series. It's a 4-book series. Look, y'all with the right one. Y'all with the right one. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. What else? Man, listen. Man, listen. What else is it? We got Art of War, right? Right? We listen, man. Look. Oh man. I'm gonna get into some old pieces too, right? That people may not have seen. Right? This is another old piece, The Left in American Politics. So we can know, exactly what other side it has done. It has done. Um, uh, I believe I showed you guys this before. Rebels in Eden, right? Mass political violence in the United States, right? By one of the Jewish brothers. You dig what I'm saying? Look, um, you have to be very well read, researched, and studied. If you coming from just an melanated perspective, you're going to lose. We're going to lose. I've said it before, you cannot come from just a purely melanated perspective, because very few melanated doctrines have won. You have to study all people around this entire globe who have fought for oppression, right? Who have fought against oppression, fought those who were the practitioners of oppressing humanity. So, yeah, of course, we have to research and then take everything that our comrades, right, have given us. But if you don't look at the other side and know how to attack them from a military standpoint, know how to attack them from a policy, or at least look at policy, know how to read policy to not get caught up in it, you're at a loss. That's why you have so many of these false prophets, these fraud leaders that sell people out day in and day out, because they don't know what the F they doing. They don't. They don't know what they doing. You can never sit across from them. and get, well, what is your purpose? What doctrine do you follow? Where are you going? Where are we going? Should we support you? They could never answer that because they don't have it up here. They're not intelligent. These dudes are smart. They know how to retain information. They're not self-thinkers, and they definitely not self-motivating, or they wouldn't be so far ingrained in that system or in those institutions. They so in it. They in it deep because their souls is in it. Their loins. You dig what I'm saying? Their groin is in deep with their oppressors. They yearn for them. So they can never, ever, ever give any of us what is needed. We have to do extensive studying, extensive research while moving forward. Without it, you just revolve in a circle. You get stuck. You understand? And this is what, this is why I don't, I'm so what is the word? Discipline. Discipline isn't even a word, right? For my practice. This is it. I have to do it. It's an absolute must. No wiggle room. None whatsoever. It's an absolute must. I have to be who I am. I have to be. So, it goes beyond mere discipline. But yeah, those are some of the titles, among others, that we really have to get into. But this is the foundation. This is the foundation because we have a broad range of people who are coming into themselves at different ages, different genders. You understand that? So we have to take the time. Everyone comes into their awareness of self, into their consciousness, into their being woke at different levels. You know? Yes, we supposed to. You have to. Look, you gotta hit me. You have that. You have to. I'm available. But once I'm moving and I'm doing other sessions, gotta hit me. Send the cash app and get it through. That's it. We on. There's no discussion. Anybody who's in the chat will tell you that. Once that's set, it's set. It's set, and we on it. We off and running. We off and run. When? When? I'll look at it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Gotta do that. Cause as soon as it's in there, I'm gone. I'm gone. You know? How do you differ people who are emerging from someone who is a lost cause? Um uh Lost cause is deep. Lost cause is deep. You know? Lost cause is real deep. Yeah, you know. All right, I'll check my email. And you know how me and you do. I mean, we've had discussions on the phone, Mars. We go back deep. So, it's boom, you know? Good evening, good evening, good evening. How do you handle a parent being sick? That's a lot of coming out of. But again, this is not this evening. This is strictly book club. All of you are welcome to, ask me those questions, right? As far as in my IG during the course of the week, right? But book club, we're going to stay right here because time is of an essence tonight. You dig? Time is of the essence, right? Um, being, how do you handle a parent? It depends on the age of the parent. It really does. And what do you mean sick? Is it mental sickness or is it health? Because if it's health wise, that's a struggle. Um, you would have to get a great healthcare practitioner. You would, and it depends on what kind of ailment it is. Some people don't trust the medical, environment. She got early. Okay, hit me, DM me, and we'll have that discussion offline. All right, Ma, what's up? What's up? We have that discussion online. Again, I'm not, it's a struggle. I lost my mother to cancer 17 years ago. Well, almost 17 years ago. My daughter's 16. My daughter was born a month after my mother passed. Yeah, almost 17 years ago. All right. And it's a journey. I'll tell you, it's a journey. But you can make it through it. She can make it through it. Um, you just have to alleviate as much stress as possible and think progressively and positively, right? And make the best moves for you as well as her and any of the siblings or any family members that show a specific amount of support. You know, it's a whole lot with that. I didn't have any, and you know, really we didn't know until it was too late. We really struggled through that, and that's something that I never want anyone to go through, but we know it's a reality. Our people get ill for many reasons, and we all gonna go through it. We'll have an ailment or two as we age, and you know, if we kind of structure our lives now, from now, to alleviate a lot of the outside pressures that we go through that add on to those imbalances, because illness is an imbalance, right? And how we attack it, right, or not attack it can cause it to accelerate, and we get caught up in our own heads. I really think positively and progressively and take different steps to deal with it right on the inside. Definitely. Okay, y'all, let's get into tonight. Boom, Masada, right? And a lot of people are flying through it. A lot of people are flying through it. Um, and we are in chapter 2, but I want to skip a little bit, right? Um, be, you know, because I am, as you know, very involved in the schools, um, especially early education. Um, is something that once I got out of the mountains and at the point, you know, where my wife was when I touched down, she wasn't in the classroom at that point. She was the union delegate, and sort of they created a position for her in the elementary school, uh, where she was like the acting dean. Like they really don't have deans in elementary schools, but they can finagle certain people to handle, uh, the suspensions and a lot of the disciplinary actions and dealing with the parents and making sure people, were working well with guidance. Kind of like she was just doing her thing at that time. Um, of course, now, um, well, just recently she took the test to be a superintendent in the Department of Education. So she, been in DOE 31, 32 years. So now, um, shit is getting a little thick. Uh, she went from that to, being a staff administrative manager, to being an AP, to being a principal who ran her building for 3 years without a vice principal. So she's in her fifth or sixth year now, running the building. Um, and, it's getting thick, but it's also, a lot on the body, a lot on the mind, because our connection to public education is it's a rough connection. But every step of the way, I've been right there, absorbing information, uh, analyzing things from my perspective, from my doctrine, from a political standpoint, um, dealing with some of the curriculum, how it's set, how the teachers respond to it, um, how it affects our people from a racial aspect. Some of the biases. I've been everywhere. Union meetings, large union meetings, delegate meetings. Um, I've seen it all. In order to become an administrator, she was part of an accelerated group that the chancellor at the time had put in. So, I mean, this shit was extensive. Like, she really had to dig deep. We had to make a lot of sacrifices within the family that I didn't believe was a sacrifice. You just got to get in it to where, um, from, I believe, it was a whole year, but I know it started in the summer, and yo, it was accelerated. We went to, she well basically went to class, learning to be an administrator. I would have to get up early in the morning, and I'm talking about shit. My daughter was still in the car seat, man. She was a baby at that time, and yo, getting up in the morning, driving to Queens. Everybody know how Long Island City is. Ain't no parking or nothing. Drop her off, get back home, you know, do the daddy thing, do the house thing, all that. And it was crazy for a year. And then, go back to Long Island City, pick her up. Sometime that shit would be 9 at night. These people getting out, and still had to maintain, once the school year started, the same practice on the weekends. So we ran that shit for a whole year. And then the follow-up year was these little refreshers where each person in the program had to show how they applied everything, right? So we would have to go to their schools. So it would be Harlem was 3 schools in Harlem, 3 schools in Queens, 2 in the Bronx, and she was in Brooklyn, and I believe it was another assistant principal in Brooklyn. So we would have to go to all of these different schools. The 2 in the Bronx was way up. One was near the Bronx High School of Science, and another spot, Harlem, and these was at night, and they study groups was on the weekend at night, and I'll be up in there, me and my, daughter, she have a little portable CD player, and yo, we rock out. We eat in that car, all that. We went hard for those 2 years. Um, the schools in Queens wasn't close neither. It was one that was close to one that was on Springfield, and there was another one on the other side of closer to Whitestone. You know, it was a lot. So, and in that, I'm ear hustling the training, the discussions, gets that, certificate, and, you know, um, yo, Now, once you an administrator, you have a different look. And of course, I'm me. I got a different look. And in that same time, I'm involved in the anti-gun violence campaign. So once she got her certificate, just so happened at the same time, my daughter gets in, she's ready for, I think she was in kindergarten. And that's when I started with um, the Operation Ceasefire Cure Violence model. So I'm getting a different perspective of dealing with everything. I'm dealing with politics in the street with our people, especially our youth with the gun violence. And uh, I'm going to schools. To certain schools wanted the program, or at least have us dealing with their behavior issues. You understand? And dealing with so many different things, like I had a different view of how things operate, how they move, and in those interactions with our people at ground level. Um, it helped give me a different perspective. All right. So, okay, thank you, Perry. Thank you. So I want to go to that part of Asada, right? And make sure we dig into that piece right there. So I'm still in chapter 2, right? When we're going to start with I think this is page 32, uh, when she's talking about her being back in Queens, not in the South. Um, those who have been reading, you can get a clear vision of her life, her early life in the South. But I wanted to deal with the school system here because some of the same biases and issues are prevalent today, which is why I always say there's really been limited growth with us socially, right? As a people. I'm not talking about as far as technology. Capitalism will always allow you to do that. They will always allow you to feel as if you belong, right? Or feel included in that because you have the ability to purchase something, right? Like back in the days, I'm from the era where it was hard to get a VCR. Like your parents really had to, you know, be bringing in a certain amount for you to have the luxury because it was new technology, right? VCRs was like $400-500. People don't, some may not remember that. So that was a luxury for people to go purchase a VCR. You understand? But when the technology and the output starts, you know, getting way out and meeting the demand, right? Um, you know, the price goes down. So now, even those who may be financially strapped can be included in that process. And that does something to your mind, right? Because now you feel you a part of something. It's like people when they feel like they're the first black in this position. You dig? All right, Mars, I see you. I see you. And thank you, and we may do that definitely tomorrow. All right. Um, so let's begin. All right. I entered third grade at PS 154 in Queens. The school was almost all white, and I was the only black kid in class. Everybody in my family was glad I was going to school in New York. The schools are better, they said. You'll get a better education up north than in that segregated school down south. See, you see the thinking, right? Of still, even at that time period, uh, you know, schools in the South lack resource, funding, you understand, structure, maybe even curriculum, and that's purposely done. Purposely done. You understand? So this is always still freedom is north, whether it's free dumb physically or free dome was still always up north. And some of our brothers still suffer from that today in New York City, where they feel that they have to go up north to become a man or to learn certain skill sets. Gotta get up out of it. Get up out of the narratives because they are dangerous and detrimental to your belief system, especially when they cause erratic behavior. All right? School up north was much different for me than school down south. For one thing, the teachers, they were all white. I don't remember having any black teachers until I was in high school. Right? That's what she said. The teachers were always grinning at me. All right? And I and the older I got, the less I liked those grins. I didn't have a name for them then, but now I call them the quote unquote little nigger grins. My third grade teacher was young, blonde, very prissy, and middle class. Whenever I came into the room, she would show me all 32 of her teeth. But there was nothing sincere about her smile. It never made me feel good. There was always something unnatural and exaggerated about her behavior with me. On my first or second day in class, she was teaching us penmanship. Does anyone know how to make a capital L in script? She asked. Nobody raised a hand. Timidly, I did. You know how to do it? She asked incredulously. Yes, I told her. We had that last year down south. Well, come and write it on the blackboard then, she told me. I wrote my pitiful little second grade L on the blackboard. After looking at me and nodding, she made a big fancy L next to mine. Is this what you're trying to make, Joanne? Her expression was smug. The whole class broke out laughing. I wanted to go somewhere and hide. After that, it seemed that every time I mentioned something I learned down south, she got mad. She never saw my raised hand. When she couldn't ignore it, like when no one else raised theirs, she would say something like, "Oh, do you know the answer, Joanne?" All right? You understand? Every holiday, a class was assigned to put on a play. There were plays for Columbus Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, right? Our class had George Washington's birthday. And our play was about his cutting down this cherry tree when he was a little boy, right? I was selected to be in the play. I was tickled pink and so proud. I was cast as one of the cherry trees. The teacher put some green crepe paper over my head and told me to stand at the back of the stage where I was to stay until the end of the play. Then the cherry trees were supposed to sway from side to side and sing. George Washington never told a lie, never told a lie. He never told a lie. George Washington never told a lie. And the truth goes marching on. I didn't know what a fool they had made out of me until I grew up and started to read real history. Not only was George Washington probably a big liar, but he had once sold a slave for a keg of rum. Here, they had this old cracker slave master who didn't give a damn about black people. And they had me, an unwitting little black child, doing a play in his honor. When George Washington was fighting for freedom in the Revolutionary War, he was fighting for the freedom of whites only, rich whites at that time. After the so-called revolution, you couldn't vote unless you were a white man and you owned a plot of land. The Revolutionary War was led by some rich white boys who got tired of paying heavy taxes to the king. It didn't have anything at all to do with freedom, justice, and equality for all. So we not, and again I repeat, we not, you dig, going to, hold on. You know what I'm saying? You out of here. You out of here. Simple as that. We not playing no games. Moderators, anybody gets stupid, right? Get them up out of here. All right? Straight up. Straight up. Out of here. No distractions. None. None. Because this is the same narrative. These are the same narratives that our people struggle with to this day. When you're talking about people who go into politics, when you talk about people who want you to give them some type of prestige or adore them because they sitting in Washington or sitting in Albany for New York, you know what I'm saying, or at some city council, because they inclusive in some type of political, arena with this shit that was never ever intended to benefit us. It is rhetorical. It is a fake narrative. It is a lie. So I don't look at you and gander and with hope and I look at you as a dumbass and someone who is destined, right? Because that's what it is. You're destined to harm my people, whether it's through policy or it's physically through military oppression. These are the same false narratives that we are living under right now. But again, because of technology, because of a little bit of inclusion in order to keep this shit functioning, many believe that injustice for all means all of us. And it was never written for that and is not their language. If you don't know that right now, then you're going to be asleep forever. That does not include us at all. Understand? It does not include us at all. And you can't make it include us. It's not happening. It is written, and they have people who call themselves constitutionalists who take that language verbatim, literally. And if you take that literally and verbatim and any of the underlining amendments in it, that means literally they still consider your ass a slave, a serf, 3/5 of a man beneath them. Which is why when people ask me about investments and economic movements for blacks within that system, I look at them as if they crazy. Because they will always benefit more than you will from your own investment in it. That's just how it's set up. The bank always wins. And when they control the banks, they control whatever you into. Anything. Anything. And you cannot win a war like that. You cannot win a war like that. Any people who have become free, any people who have become free took over propaganda, took over the banks, took over the armies. You have to know and understand that. And if your doctrine is short, if your doctrine does not have anything in it to go against it or separate from it, then you just fooling yourself. You playing games, baby. I don't have time for games. All right? But this is how your children are indoctrinated. So when you want to celebrate Christmas, Easter, George Washington, Columbus Day, Thanksgiving, all this shit that people get emotional over and have a difficulty pulling away from, this is why. This is why. The propaganda is indoctrination. That's all it is. And some people have a very difficult time pulling away from it. And it is not you. If you are a student of mine and I'm a student of yours, you understand what I'm saying? If you educate me the way I educate you, right? We know that we don't get into confrontation with these individuals, whether it's online, whether it's at work, whether it's at home. We don't do it at all. Thank you, Dewan. Salute for that. You understand? We don't do it. We not into it. Again, people come into consciousness at different spaces at different time. We don't waste our time with that because we coming from a point of fact. And we looking at the end results. If the end results still have us in servitude, then we don't even. It's no. What are we doing? What's this discussion? You know that is something that we not going to even look into. What's the end result? Are we still waiting on them? What? Oh, in order to get what we need to get, we still have to go to them? Then that's counter-revolutionary. It's counterproductive. I don't care who puts it on. I don't care what color they are. If you are still going to be subservient to anything, any person, or any institution, then it's no good. Simple as that. No one should ever have power or authority over you. No institution should ever have power or authority over you. None. None should ever have power or authority over you. Your life is precious. Flesh is weak. And that's it. So you give it over to anything or anyone that does not love you, that is on you. That is a first stage of consciousness and awareness and awakening. You understand? Are there any other economic systems that are systems, socialism, communism, etc.? Are any of them useful to us? They will be useful to a degree, but even communism has a lot of oppressive elements in it and some racial components uh, based on who is at the table that are not healthy for us. And those are still inherited. We're at a space and time in we're in a space and time where we have to redefine who we are and how we move. So to take on inherited theories and beliefs that have failed us in the past is asinine. We will find out exactly who and what we are when we get to the end of it. You understand what I'm saying? Because communism wasn't communism until they won. right? It was just an idea Lenin had, right? The Bolsheviks won, but it wasn't, they called it what they called it, but it didn't become what it became until they were victorious in a certain time and space. So we have to create something different for us to continue to rely on that shit and to try to practice it in a day and time that is definitely moving at a different pace. We're going to lose. We're going to lose. Now, you may look at certain pieces and see that it would be better suited for us to carry on in that manner. You understand what I'm saying? Right? Like at one time, Islam, in the form of a nation of Islam, was very good for our people. You understand? Now, how does it move the needle now? So you always have to analyze, right? You always have to go back and analyze and see what was the gains and losses from that. We are the only group of people who has not evolved. I see you, Mars. We're not doing this now. You understand? We're the only group of people who have not evolved. Period. Technology has evolved. Nature, in some aspects, have evolved. Humanity has not gotten any point of evolution out of us spiritually, right? Or socially. We're still living under the same constructs that destroy us. Spiritually, you're going through the same 4 or 5 major religions that have you stunted, warring on each other, right? Separating parent from child, man from woman. You understand? Ethnicity from ethnicity, right? And even that gets put in a space where that's put at the back burner based on people who have acquired certain wealth and those who are impoverished. So humanity has not grown because you continue to rely on these different systems. You dig? And that's where, when it comes to that, and this is why we deal with people who have studied, who have lived it, and put themselves in a certain space where they can articulate it back to you. All right? Let's go. Again, in the 4th grade, I was the only black kid in my class. My teacher, Mr. Trobowitz, was cool, though, and a very good teacher. He had modern ideas about teaching, and instead of making us read those old, boring readers, he had us read real books and write reports about them. His class was always interesting. He told us all kinds of jokes and stories, and he seemed to be sincerely concerned about us. That year, we were learning about the Civil War and about Lincoln's freeing the slaves. Like all the other teachers, Mr. Trubowitz taught us, quote unquote, fairy tale history. But at least he made it interesting. That year, I was crazy about Lincoln. I memorized the entire Old Captain, My Captain by Walt Whitman and recited it to the class. Little did I know that Lincoln was an anarchist who had openly expressed his disdain for black people. He was of the opinion that black people should be forcibly deported to Africa or anywhere else. We had been taught that the Civil War was fought to free the slaves. And it was not until I was in college that I learned that the Civil War was fought for economic reasons. The fact that official slavery was abolished was only incidental. Northern industrialists were fighting to control the economy. Before the Civil War, the northern industrial economy was largely dependent on Southern cotton. The slave economy of the South was a threat to northern capitalism. What if the slaveholders of the South decided to set up factories and process the cotton themselves? Northern capitalists could not possibly compete with slave labor, and their capitalist economy would be destroyed. To ensure that this didn't happen, the North went to war. When I was still in the fourth grade, I fell off a swing and broke my leg. Mr. Trobowitz came to my house and gave me lessons and assignments. When I returned to school, Mr. Trobowitz had left to teach in college. Everybody in the class was sad. A bird peeped, right? A bird beaked. Stick to the book. Teach by rotate teacher replaced him. She made us go back to reading in the readers and changed the desk around so that once again we were sitting in rows. I didn't like her and she bored me to death. So her recall of her experience in grade school is, something comparable to mine. I can recall almost everything in fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. And I have classmates that are still friends, dear friends to this day, that can do the same. We all came through fourth, fifth, sixth grade together. Went to seventh grade and we all got skipped to the ninth grade together. Right? And then from ninth grade, we went on to high school. And some of us separated. Well, the majority of us separated in high school, but because of us all being from East New York and being from the projects, all of us maintained some type of tie with each other. And there's a large group of us today, to this very day, that we are still tight. And we often talk about grade school experience, what we read, what we went through, our teachers at that time. So it is very impactful what children go through in their upbringing. The themes of their lives are very important, which is why it is always important that when we are in the position to be parents, to be nurturers, to be caretakers and providers for little children, we have to, tackle that with the utmost respect. That is the formation, and a lot of our people lose that because of whatever they're into, their vices. And it doesn't always have to be alcohol or substance abuse to be a vice. You know what I'm saying? It could even be overwork and working to catch up to whitey and the standards that are set by society. That's a vice too. And sometimes in that we lose that connection. And you could be very harmful to your child. Also with inherited beliefs, right? I had no choice. I was born into an Islamic family. I had no choice. I had to learn it. There was no other way for me to live, right? I chose not to do that with my daughter because there's decisions that she's going to have to make based on how she wants to live her life. She has option. I had to learn that that wasn't for me. That life wasn't for me. I found no purpose in it. I found different elements of it that I don't necessarily agree with when it comes to being a liberator. I'm not chauvinistic in it. I don't believe my women should be behind me with nothing to say. When it's time for us to be in a foxhole and it's time to do battle, all hands are on deck. Most religions don't encourage that because they're chauvinistic in nature. So I had to learn that shit, and it was a struggle. But whatever good I took from it, I took from it. And I ran off with it and added on and learned from other spaces and added on. So we have to know and understand our positions and how we deal and be watchmen over our babies, over our children. Because you can put them into a position, you can give them over to your enemy, and they will do them dirty. It's damaging. So this is the recovery period, right? This is the period for us to retreat and recollect ourselves as a nation, as an army, and watch everything that's going on around us. You understand? We have to watch everything that's going on around us in order to be professional and proficient when it comes to loving ourselves. Remember, I said that revolutionary confrontation, right? Love is the basic foundation of a liberator. Us to love ourselves more than anything else. And when you manifest that love of self, that means you don't have time to be swayed by your enemies or allies of your enemies, regardless of color, regardless of income, regardless of status. That is what we are extracting from Book Club. Watch what your babies are being privy to. Watch what your babies are intaking. The information, the feelings, the emotions, you have to catch it. When they start feeling down and you can see them crawling into their shells. When they do that, they're losing faith in themselves, they're losing hope in themselves, and they're not seeing anything. And it is up to you to instill that back into them and to give them a different view of themselves and of the world so they can make a better decision. That takes work. Lazy people cannot do that. People who are not committed cannot do that. And that's what's going to separate you from the rest of them. That's what we're building here. All right? Let me continue. One time, our class had a dance. It was a big event for me since I love to dance. The white kids couldn't dance for nothing. They looked like a bunch of drunken kangaroos hopping all over the place, out of time with the music. I sat there with my hand over my mouth, trying to suppress my laughter. I ached to get out there and show them how to do it, but nobody asked me to dance. I don't think it ever occurred to them, and if it did, they knew better. Dancing with a nigger was surely good for a week or so of teasing. But these whites were not at all out in the open with their racism. It was undercover, like their parents' racism. Anyhow, I just sat there looking at them flop around until this one kid, I'll never forget his name, Richard Kennedy. He was poor. He was a poor Irish kid with red hair. Came over to where I was sitting and said, "If you give me a dime, I'll dance with you." The sad part of the story is that I almost gave him the dime. So you see what integration is. You see what going to school or being around them but not included in their social beliefs can do to our mind. Same thing that people go through at work. When you are there to earn an income, when you are there to do the best job, to do the best or be the best at specific task, and you get ostracized, you get teased for things that have nothing to do with why you are there, to be an employee. And that can be damaging, because now you're going to double down. That is what the psyche does. You're going to double down to prove to them that you can be included. So it's no longer your want to be better than or to pull out. Now you want to show them that you can be better than they are. That's damaging to the psyche, especially when you don't have other institutions that can embrace you, that can love you, that can show you here is where you belong, because you have your own, because we have our own. No, you're going to force your way into that and have others that look like you encourage that. And at that time, that's where you get the separation. This is where the conscious community goes over here, the so-called woke community go over here, and the other ones who you consider coons and toms move that way. Because the psyche plays a game, which is why we say he's not conscious, they're not woke. I'm telling you, some mean trip, but it's a thin line. And even those in the conscious community don't even know that deep embedded in their psyche, they're using the consciousness only to go back into that system and prove that they belong with Whitey. That's the slick niggas I be talking about. That you got these personalities that y'all donating money to, giving money to, giving attention to, sharing their videos and things. It's deep. Very deep. Very deep. Gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. Alright? So I'm gonna pause there for tonight. I'll pause there for tonight. Our children have to be mindful of what you're teaching our children. It gets, I'm telling you, they're very sneaky with it. We're in an age where technology can assist them in poisoning the mind at a quicker pace than ever before. They can actually insert their ideas, their philosophies, their values into video games. And have your children and young adults totally up here, not knowing you just showing them how to be the ultimate capitalist, the ultimate patriot. Oh yeah, that's gonna rock them. Somebody asked me a question about that metaverse shit today. Yeah, it's gonna rock them. That shit is dead. It's gonna rock them to sleep. What book am I reading from? This is the Saturday night book club. If you're just new to us, this is what we're reading. Right? You're welcome to go back. 4 videos. 4 weeks, 5 weeks. We've been reading. This is our initial book. Go over. You know, review, rewatch the videos. Definitely Cash App, share the videos. You understand, if you're part of our tribe, you know, we welcome you. You understand? But this is a very small group. Our numbers will be small because that's just what the consciousness does. When you move forward, you see how tiny your numbers are when it comes to commitment, when it comes to loving each other and going the extra length. You dig? Yeah, exactly. Thank you for ordering the book. All right. So again, you know, it's very, 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 very deceptive. And the more you are engaged with research, the more you are engaged with dialogue, the easier it is to see your enemies. You dig? Much easier. Much, much easier to engage with each other, but much easier to recognize your enemy. You become razor sharp. Razor sharp. But it's lonely. You dig? It's lonely. You know, you lose family, you lose so-called friends, you lose associates, you lose it all. And it's best that you do it now. It's best because you don't want to, as we say, you know, in my immediate militarily structured group, you don't want to have to make the decision over the barrel and have to see and make that call whether or not you can trust this person or this person is worthy. You don't want to have to wait, because if you hesitate, that person may knock you right out into your next transition. Get it over with. Get it over with. See people for who they are and acknowledge who you are, and then you just may be in different paths because it's critical now. They're not playing. They want some time. They want some time, different type of time now. What you gonna do? Either you gonna do this or you not coming through. What you gonna do? It's just that simple. And you have people that are, you know, fight you tooth and nail. You need to. Nah. That's where we at with it now. People are making life or death decisions right now. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Now, me, I'm not gonna be a victim of somebody else's truth. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna give up mine because you're a dummy, because you're not woke. And I'm not gonna give up mine because I have some emotional tie to you that is only really there because I think of you in a certain way. Gotta understand that, right? Hitler had babies, kids turning over their parents, knowing that they was going to the damn chambers. They didn't give a damn. Life or death decision, self-preservation. So what are you going to do? Because you see somebody with dark melanin, black skin, you going to give them a pass? You going to allow yourself to be cradled in the arms of your enemy because, oh, that's my uncle. Oh, that's my dad. So if he says I got to go over, I'm going to rock with them. Fuck out of here. Not me. I live by that. Live by that. Daughter, son, nothing. Nothing. I will fight tooth and nail for myself before I would ever fall victim to a mentality, to an emotional tie to anybody. Nah, you better be stronger than that, because that's it. Once you gone, you gone. And life goes on. So again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. Definitely share the video. You know, again, no cash app is too small or too large. God damn it. Get it in, because we got a war to fight. We have a nation to build. Understand that. You dig? So salute. Oh, definitely the one. Salute for the deserts. The double. Seen that a couple of times. You dig? What they say. I love and fear God, but science, which seems to be changing every month. Yeah, you know? You never late. You never late. You never late. Always replay it. Always replay it. And again, I believe we'll be doing Outspoken tonight. We're going to have a Cash App-a-thon. I believe it's supposed to be 4 to 6 hours, so I got to get ready for that. All right? I see you, Boston. I see you. I see you, Boston. I see you. All right? New England's in the house. So again, salute. Peace and love to my moderators. You know how we do. You know how we do. All my moderators, you know, Ninth, you dig, V, you dig, Tierra, everybody. Y'all know how we do. All right? So either we don't do Outspoken, maybe back here. I may shoot the IG real quick. I got some other issues to tend to. All right? But peace and love. Let's get ready for next Saturday. Let's get ready for next Saturday. Book club. We're going to get back into, again, we're going to get back into her case and what's going on. Understand that? All right? Salute.